Hi, this is Jim Sackman from Focal Point, and this is another of our Success Friday videos. And this time we're focused again on our inorganic growth or our mergers and acquisition strategy, and I want to talk about both strategy and tactics. Now, last time I talked about how you might identify some potential targets, and this time I want to talk about both short-term and long-term issues associated with that. And I want to use an example from my past where we bought, when I was at AFC, we bought the Reltech Access Group in Dallas from a company named Marconi. And, this is part of our way of converting our sales base from 80% small carriers to 80% large carriers. And this was an important step because that Reltech Group, their primary customer was Bell South, when Bell South was a standalone company, and they were doing about $200 million a year with Bell South. Now, AFC had not cracked Bell South, and this was the way we're capturing the business. In other words, this is part of a buying your competitor strategy. The challenges were, of course, to make sure that Bell South was going to be happy with the platform and AFC owning it. And if it didn't work, then the whole purchase wouldn't work for us. So we had to come up with an integration plan, and that is the plan that turns really two companies into one. Now, in the long term, we would have loved to have Bell South adopt AFC's core platform, and so that we could converge it and concentrate just on one thing. And in fact, in the long term, that's what's happened. But in the short term, we knew we needed to convince Bell South to stay with us as a vendor. So our strategy was, or our tactic was, to turn the group into a wholly owned subsidiary. We appointed an executive to lead the integration, but the core functions that the customer dealt with, the sales, the marketing, and engineering, remained separate. So Bell South would have the entire team they'd always have, and they were used to interacting with. Now, it's a little bit hard to say whether this tactic worked or not, because AFC was bought less than a year after this transaction closed. In the meantime, however, Bell South continued to buy. They worked with us on product upgrades and changes. And so it seemed like, at least in the short term, things were continuing to work well. Now, my point of all this is that the strategy that we had to capture the customer, that buy your competitor strategy, drove our tactics. We might have done it differently if we were building a different kind of company. But that's where you need to look at this: is what is your your strategy, and how do you make your tactics line up with it? So I hope this helps, and this is Jim Sackman from Focal Point. Change your business, change your life, and have a great day.